Please help me welcome Patrick Allmond.
Thank you very much, Mary. One of the very first things I want to clarify this morning, and there's a reason for this, is that I am not Byron Emery. The last time that we had Byron Emery down to Oklahoma City for a conference, he was the keynote speaker, and I also had an educational presentation. And after Byron's keynote speaking, I got all his congratulations. People were coming up to me saying, "Great keynote, I loved it, I love what you talked about, it was really inspirational." And I said, "Thank you, but it wasn't me." So I just want to clarify that we don't have any secret club. You know, we don't have any good-looking black speakers club. I'm not going to pass the congratulations on to him. So if you like the keynote this morning, it was the guy without the hair. I let my hair grow out a little bit this morning. That was Byron. This is Patrick. So I am not Byron Emery. It is so good to see all of you this morning. I'm very excited to share the information that I have. And I initially did not even really submit to be a speaker, but Mary said, "I want you here. I want to know about this myself." There are some 3 key beliefs that we're going to start off with when it comes to being a paid public speaker, and then I'm going to roll into what I call the 3 M's of how you get to the point where you're considered a paid professional public speaker. As she was giving my introduction, I counted the number of people in the room. I think we're up to about 42 or 43 people in the room. And when I see a room full of people like this, I see a lot of experience. I see a lot of lives. I see a lot of happiness. I see a lot of sadness. I see a lot of business experience. A lot of you have traveled all over the world. Nobody in this room has taken the exact same path from the moment the doctor smacked you as you came out of your mom to, you know, when your spouse smacked you before you walked in the room here. And what you have to realize, if you're going to go into the paid public speaking business, is that you have a story of some sort to offer. You have experience. You have life experience. You have business experience. You have wife experience. You have husband experience. You have mother, father experience. You have all these great experiences that you've gone through in life, and there are people that want to know about these experiences. So the first thing you have to think of when you think about public speaking, the first thing you have to believe is that you have something worth saying. And that's something, to tell you the truth, that took me a little while to get over myself. But you have to believe that you have a good story. And that's one thing that Toastmasters really helps you with, is crafting a very good story. So you can take what may seem mundane to you and turn it into something worthwhile, something want to hear. Some people want to hear, excuse me. The second thing that you have to believe is the flip side. You have to believe that there's actually people out there that want to hear what you have to say. And trust me, there are. So just like there are 42 people in here that have a different, unique life story, there are also 42 people in here that want to learn something from somebody else. So when you're a public speaker, you want to learn just about as much as you want to speak. So you have to believe that there are people out there that want to know about your experiences of being a spouse. They want to know about your travels. They want to know about your business experience. So you have to believe, number one, that you have a worthwhile story. You have to believe that there are people out there that want to hear it. And that second one, I can tell you, is 100% true. No matter what your experience in life, there's somebody else that wants to hear it. Usually a younger individual, because you can save that personal grief in their life if you give them your life experience. And the third thing you have to believe, of our initial 3 beliefs, is that there's somebody willing to pay for that experience, to pay for that knowledge. So far, out of those 3 beliefs, raise your hand if you believe all 3 of those things. Really, really high? Okay, now, put your hands down. Now, see, the problem is people outside this room can't hear us. So we're actually going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to say this phrase several times during my presentation, and when I say it, it's going to be a challenge response. When I say, "Do you believe?" I want you to say, "I believe." So we're going to practice this one time, and I want it to be very loud. Okay? Do you believe?
I believe.
That's what I want to hear right there. Okay, let's get into the 3 M's of paid public speaking. I just want to make sure you got the beliefs out of the way. Now we can get to the 3 M's of paid public speaking. The very first M we briefly touched upon, mindset. Mindset. The only thing that separates the amateur, non-paid public speaker from the professional public speaker that gets paid a good chunk of change to get up on a stage and talk is the belief that they're worth that money. You have to actually believe. I'm telling you this from experience. It took me a little while to get through this belief myself. It was hard for me to ask money for what I know, for my knowledge, for my life experience, for the technical experience. I'm a computer geek by nature, and I've gone up and taught a lot of computer classes as part of my job. But it took a while for me to get over the fact that people outside of my job were willing to give me money to hear about my experience. All that computer geeky stuff I had been doing when I was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, there were people that wanted to know that, and they were willing to pay for it. I belong to a group called National Speakers Association. It's the professional speaking organization of the United States. I tell people there are two groups you need to belong to, Toastmasters and NSA. A lot of people think that what makes you a professional speaker is that you belong to NSA, and that's an incorrect statement. There are plenty of great paid public speakers that get paid $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a presentation that are not a member of NSA. There is no group, there is no person, there is no organization that says you're a professional. It's all up here. It's all a mindset. You have to believe. When you walk out of this room today, you have to believe that if some group wants you to come down and speak for an hour or two, that you know what, it's worth your time to get paid. As Toastmasters, we know to prepare our presentations, prepare our introductions, prepare our closings, prepare our slides. That is valuable consulting time that you're spending, and you need to realize you should get compensated for that. Do you believe?
I believe.
That's what I wanted to hear right there. You have to believe that. And to tell you the truth, a lot of people can't get over that. There are a lot of people I do talk to in Toastmasters that find it very hard to ask money for what you do. It's consulting. It's no different than you going to having an 8-to-5 job and someone paying you a salary. It's the exact same thing. So you have to believe that. When you walk out of here today, I want you to believe that your time is worth something. That's very, very important to me. It took me a while to get over it. It's going to take you a while to get over it, but once you do, you can get paid, okay? That's really important. The world's not all about money, but unfortunately, money is what runs our world. And if people would just pay my mortgage as a result of public speaking, and buy my groceries and make my car payment, hey, I'd be happy. But money is what rules the world right now, so that's what we go through. Now, you may be wondering, what do you charge? What do you charge as a public speaker? What is your time worth? That's a mindset question again. I can't tell you what your time is worth. I can tell you what my time is worth. And I can tell you that all the times I've asked for money for public speaking, I've never been challenged on my price. Anyone here in the consulting business knows what it means when you ask for the price of something and no one challenges your price?
You're not charging enough.
You're not charging enough. So right now when someone says, Mr. Allmond, I want you to come down to such and such city and speak for a while, and I say, oh, that's going to be $1,100, and they go, that's great, no problem, here's a check. I'm like, oh. Why did I ask for $2,000? And so what I'm doing right now when it comes to pricing is I'm just slowly bumping my price up until I run into price resistance, which is what you do with any consulting job anyways. You run up until the point where someone goes, I'm not quite sure about that. Then you know you've hit the sweet spot right there. Now there's been at least one paid consulting engagement where somebody wasn't sure about the price, but they went the extra mile and they took the money from somebody else's budget to bring me in. That's also when you know you hit the sweet spot. When someone's willing to cancel another part of their conference or sacrifice some other money to bring you in, that's also when you know you've hit your pricing sweet spot. I have a book coming out called How to Make a Dollar When You Holler, and in it I tell you that for your very first speaking engagement, just charge something simple, $100. Get that first simple success out of the way. If someone's willing to pay $100 for you to come in and talk for half an hour or an hour, there you go, you're off and running. Next time, you know what, it's $300. Next time, it's $600. Move up until you bump on that price resistance. But for the very first time, when you're really nervous and you're really afraid that you're going to get rejected, make it simple. If someone's going to balk at $100, that may not be the kind of speaking gig that you want. Right there. $100, come on. You spend $100 on your hotel room and the food you've eaten here so far today. Okay? $100 is nothing to have you come in with your life experience and share that with a group of 40 or 50 people. That's the first one, mindset. And out of all the 3 M's I'm going to cover, mindset is the biggest one. So once you've made the decision, I'm going to be a paid public speaker, your second M comes into play. And your second M, come on and join us. Your second M is materials. If you want to be a paid public speaker, you have to somehow convey that information to other people that you are a paid public speaker. You can't just walk around saying, hey, I'm a paid public speaker, pay me. Hey, I'm a paid public speaker, pay me. By the way, do you believe?
I believe.
That's what I want to hear right there. So your second M is materials. You have to start working on the materials that present you and your life knowledge and your life skills to other people. So they can go there, they can browse it, and they can say, oh, I want to hire that person. Mary's had an awesome life. I want to drop $3 grand, have her come to Orlando, Florida. All expenses paid. Come speak to my group.
You heard it.
And Mary's going to go, what about $5,000?
Oh.
That's what Mary's going to do. They're going to go, no problem. All expenses paid. By the way, whenever you're a paid public speaker, people pay your expenses, by the way, also. People pay for your plane tickets, your hotel rooms, all of that stuff. So, getting back to materials. It's 2012. You need to have a website as a paid public speaker. Whenever I talk to people about websites, they get a little bit intimidated. Oh, that's going to be thousands of dollars. It's going to take forever to get set up. It's not. Websites have been made so easy nowadays that I could sit out with you in the lobby of this hotel room, help you buy a domain name, get WordPress set up, and have you a speaker website up and running before the afternoon educational sessions. I can do it on my phone. I can set up brand new websites on my phone. Get with a decent web designer. This is my wife right here, Angela. She does all my graphic work. I'm not going to plug her or anything, but she's brilliant. And not just because she married me. I'm not sure if that was one of her smart decisions. That's yet to be seen or not. But we get along great.
Never question your wife's judgment. Look who she married.
Oh, this is true. This is true. A website. It's 2012. Get a website. Get your name. You know, you can buy patrickallmond.com. You can buy patrickallmondspeaks.com. You can buy whatever kind of combinations of words you can come up with. You're going to buy that. That's going to be your domain name. You're going to get some hosting and get a program installed like WordPress. You're going to buy a simple design. You can go to if you don't want a completely custom design done for your website, you can go to a website called themeforest.com, which I recommend to a lot of people. And ThemeForest has some amazing website designs for WordPress, which I recommend for like $35 and $45. So your website domain is $10 a year. Your website hosting, the expensive kind, is $200 a year. And your design for that website is $45 one time. Have we hit $300 yet? I haven't hit $300 yet to get a website up on the internet. So a website is one of the very first things that you should get. People may talk to you about social media. Should I be doing Twitter or Facebook, LinkedIn? Yes, you should. But I'm a big fan of getting your own website up and running first. You don't have any control of what happens on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on MySpace, on Instagram, on any of those websites. The only place that you have 100% control of your marketing message, your graphics, all that stuff is on your own website. And I'm a control freak. I like to have control of my marketing message. So you're going to get a website. $10 to buy a domain name, $120 a year from hosting. Something else you're going to need as a speaker is a speaker one-sheet. It's a single piece of paper that describes what you talk about, has your contact information, has pictures of you, things like that. Just a second over here. This goes around. This is an example of my speaker one-sheet. Your speaker one-sheet should probably not cost you more than about $300 or $400 to get designed. Feel free to keep those. We only have 20 copies of them. Longest trip to Kinko's I've ever had in my life. So if you get a copy, share it around because we don't have enough copies for everybody, so pass it around. But whoever gets the final 20 copies, Where's the stack over here? We gotta go. Oh, I'm sorry. Supposed to go that side of the room? Okay. It should not cost more than about $300 or $400 to get a speaker one-sheet design. And you put this up on our website, so if somebody's going to some kind of speaker conference committee meeting, and they want to suggest you as a speaker, they can print this out and say, oh, I want Patrick Allmond to come to our conference. I want Byron Embry. I want Mary to come to our conference. It's just like a one-page informational sheet about you. And this will be up on your website to download. We're still on the second M materials. Do you believe?
I believe.
That's what I want to hear right there.
Patrick,
Yes, sir.
I use that term speaker one sheet.
Yes.
Everybody understands what that means?
I think anybody involved in hiring for a conference does.
Yes.
Yes. It's a very common phrase in NSA. We hear about it all the time.
Learn the language.
Hey, it's an educational section. We're all here learning the language. So we've learned NSA, Toastmasters, speaker one sheet, website, domain name, hosting. Okay? Now, eventually, once you progress in your, excuse me, I skipped over social media. I'm a huge social media fan. Social media has brought me work. However, social media is a lot of work to stay up on. Staying up on your Facebook and your LinkedIn and your Twitter. Go on and, oh, he's the cameraman. We want him in here for sure. Staying up on that stuff takes a lot of time, I promise. But I have gotten work from it. So I consider it more of a time management thing. When you have the time and you're done with the website and you're done with your speaker one sheet, start getting involved with social media, help people out on social media that like the topic that you're talking about, offer to answer questions, make sure you talk about your expertise, make sure you do blog posts and share that out on social media. And what you will see eventually is people will start talking to you and asking you questions about your topic. And eventually, they'll say, hey, would you like to come to a conference and speak? I've had 2 speaking engagement offers out of Twitter. People have come to my Twitter account and they said, Patrick, I think you'd be a good fit for our conference. Would you like to come speak? Sure. How about $1,200? Sure, we'll pay that. Oh, I didn't ask enough. So, social media is good also. One other thing I want to talk about real quick, and we can pass these around, is when you're thinking about materials in public speaking, and you have your website, your social media, your speaker one sheet, think a little bit past that as to how you can take some of your experience and turn this into a product that you can sell. Because there are people that will not pay $1,100 to have you come out to Florida to speak, but you know what they will do? They'll pay $49 for a CD of you speaking, and that CD may have 12 hours of you speaking on it. What I did a while back is I was on a radio station in South Oklahoma City. I was on for 13 weeks, and I have 13 one-hour social media sessions. 13 hours of my time. How much do I normally charge for that in a professional speaking environment? Probably a couple grand, easily. But you know what? I have all that put on a DVD. So you guys give them all out?
Yes. Okay.
I want these back. You have to buy these, but look at these. But I have those 13 hours of professional recording put on a DVD. My graphic designer wife designed the cover of it. So if you can't afford me for $100 or $500 or $1,000, you can just buy what Patrick's talking about for 13 hours and put this in the car, put this on your iPod. Now, like I said, I'm not selling these because Mary said I can't sell from the stage, but I wanted you to pass these around because I want you to see how nice these look. Somebody really quickly raise their hand and tell me how much these cost. Quick, how much do 50 of these cost?
49.
How'd you know?
You said it.
Can I tell you that?
Yeah.
No, that's how much I sell them for, 49.
Oh,
That's how much I sell them for. How much did it cost for me to get 50 of those made? Total.
30. Oh, for all that.
$60.
You're the auctioneer, man. You should be right. You should be calling out the numbers for me.
Per each?
What's the highest number I heard so far?
60.
60? 75? $100.89 with the shipping.
Wow.
For 50 of these CDs with the graphics on there. How much do I sell them for? $49. What do I have to sell to break even? 2. I think I sold 3 or 4 within the first 60 days when I had them. I've made my money back on that box of DVDs already. And that's just Patrick Allmond speaking for 13 hours over and over and over and over again. So when you're talking about materials in the middle M there, think about ways you can take product like this and use it over and over and over again. We have a video camera running in the back. I'm going to make a video out of this. You know what I can do? I can edit that video down, break this up into segments, put that on a DVD. Another DVD for $49. No more work on my part. I've already done the speaking part. Okay? So when you think about materials, think about ways you can sell your wisdom and your knowledge without necessarily standing in front of a stage, because you can do it cheaper. I have that CD for sale, that DVD for sale on my website for $49. So that's a 24-hour money-making machine for me. I don't have to do anything. I just wake up in the morning, oh, another $49, got to ship out another DVD. Do you believe? I believe. That's what I want to hear right there. Okay. The last M after mindset and materials is the dreaded marketing. So now that you have the mindset, and now that you have the materials, you have to talk about yourself. And this is hard. We don't like people with big egos. We don't like people that go around telling you about all the good stuff they do, and the fact that they charge money for it. So this is something else that I did find hard as I transitioned to a professional paid public speaker, is talking about myself. If you are good at something, and you have a good message, and you can deliver it very well, you should never have a problem when you're interacting with somebody one-on-one saying, you know what, I'm a paid public speaker, here's my business card. If you ever know of an organization that could use my skills or my wisdom, please pass on my information. Or when you're on social media, hey, by the way, my name is Patrick Allmond. Here, watch this short demo video on how to become a paid public speaker. If you're ever interested in hiring me, please give us a call. Or on your website talking about this, or looking directly at the camera making a commercial and saying, hi, my name is Patrick Allmond. Thanks for watching my YouTube video. If you'd ever like to hire me for your conference, let me know. So marketing, you have to get on social media and your website again. Tell people about what you know. You have to network like crazy. If you are an antisocial person, guess what? Paid public speaking is probably not for you. I network a lot in Oklahoma City, and my wife networks a lot in Oklahoma City. And it's not the ego talking, but it's very hard for us to go to any kind of business situation and go, oh, Patrick, I know you. I've seen you on TV, or I know your wife. Remember we met a couple of years ago. Hey, I have a good idea for you. Here's a business idea for you. I want to pay you to come do some consulting for us. Both Oklahoma City and Tulsa have a lot of big networking groups. There's the morning coffee cup networkers, there's business professional networkers. My wife's a member of a group called NABO, National Association of Women Business Owners. Oscar and I are a member of the Oklahoma City chapter of NSA, National Speakers Association, great networking group, and even speakers themselves network and pass business back and forth. I had one of our guys call me the other day, I can't remember which one, but he called me because he wants to do like a group speaking thing. He wants to get 5 speakers together, all of us do a group speaking presentation. NSA is a little bit more expensive than Toastmasters to join, but oh my goodness, when it comes to learning more about the business of paid public speaking, it is a beautiful organization. So look for different business groups that you can sit down with over lunch, network with, have coffee with people. Always carry your business cards with you. You might consider making up postcards. I carry up business cards, and we have a stack of them over here. If you want some, I'm not selling anything, just take a business card because I have my email address. My wife has made up postcards for both of us before, and she keeps the postcards in the car. We've kept them in our business packets before. Here's a postcard, because she does, you have some for the website design, right? Yeah, she has some for the website design, the work that she does. She does a lot of website design, a lot of graphic design, so she always has postcards available to hand out. If you are afraid to give out your business cards, you don't know what they're for. You should always be out of business cards. Don't be the kind of person that says, I've only got 50 of these, I don't want to give them out. Give them out like freaking candy, okay? Goodness gracious, do you believe? I believe. That's what I want to hear. I have exactly 3 minutes and 43 seconds left for questions. One of the cardinal sins of public speaking, by the way, is going over time. Especially when you have a nice lady like Mary, who begs you to come up to Tulsa and speak. So I have this cool little app on my iPad that tells me exactly how much time I have left. I've never been a good person in the speech contests, trying to figure out, am I at 3 minutes, or 3.5, or 4.5, or 5? I've never been good at that, so I use a timer. Questions? Sir?
What do you think of, I can't even think of the name of the thing.
So I can't think of it if you can't think of it.
Speakers Bureau.
Oh, Speakers Bureau is also very good.
But,
I don't
but
ever-
I'm free,
You're free?
and I'm not getting any calls, and I'm free. And so I'm wondering, how can I charge if I can't give my speaking skills?
Are you talking about yourself enough? Talk about yourself more. I have no problem talking about myself. Because you know what? I have a mortgage to pay. This is a business for me. I don't do it because I have a big ego. I have a big ego also. But I do it because the money comes in the door. I use that money because it goes to college tuition. It goes to flat tires. It goes to oil changes. A lot of people don't like the fact that people get paid for public speaking because you're just, why should I pay you $1,000? You're just up there yapping. It's a business to me. I had to get those CDs made. I had to pay a graphic designer with breakfast this morning to charge to make my flyers. I mean, treat your public speaking like a business. So the only thing I would suggest there is network more and talk about yourself more. Make sure your website's up.
But if anybody finds out that I'm on Speakers Bureau, all they have to do is call me through the Speakers Bureau and say, or email me through Speakers Bureau.
Right.
And of course, I'm free.
And sometimes free is not valued.
Yeah, sometimes free is not. You know what? First of all, stop using the phrase free. I learned this from NSA with Oscar. You are not ever free. You may waive your fee on occasion. But you know what? By saying free, you're showing your value right there. You're really not worth too much. I'm never free.
Be cheap and easy.
Maybe, we'll see. Depends on how good the dinner you buy me is. So, any other questions? Sir?
Just an observation, if your fee is too high for them, sometimes you can waive part of your fee in return for marketing opportunity.
Exactly.
And chalk that up to the marketing department, or charge that off to the marketing department,
Exactly.
and only charge you half my normal fee, or whatever.
Right, one of the things that Mary offered me, which we chose not to exercise, is set up a table in the back of a room with some materials on there to sell. I chose not to do that this time, and actually what we're going to do right now, by the way, since I do have a book coming out, would anyone like a PDF copy of that book? We're going to pass around some clipboards real quick as we wrap up, and please put down your name and your email address. I will email you the, it's going to be about a 50 or 60 page book once I get done with it. I'll just email it to you before I get it printed up. Any other questions before we wrap up? Ma'am?
What were the first few things you did as you were transitioning to being a speaker?
One of the first few things I did was I joined NSA with Oscar. I learned to stop using the word free. That was a big one for me. Yeah, that was a big one, to stop using the word free, and to get a web page up that had pictures of me and talk more about the topics that I speak on. The flyer that you see, and by the way, those flyers that you see on there have three main topics that I talk about, and there's some other smaller ones, but I had to basically quantify what I want to talk about into distinct areas. I want to speak about motivation, I want to speak about social media, and I think my flyer says I want to speak about networking. So take your topics and say, this is one of them, this is the other, and this is the other. I use 3, you can use 2, you can use 1. Obviously, we'll have room afterwards for Q&A out in the hallway, but I'm over time by 29 seconds. One last question. Sir?
Do you need a tuxedo?
Look at me.
Yeah,
he needs one.
It's not evening time.
It's not evening time.
Yeah.
Are you asking me personally if I need a tuxedo or for public speaking?
For public speaking.
No. No. I dress really appropriate to the environment. I try to dress maybe one step above what I think the audience is going to be dressed in. I've never done public speaking in jeans and a t-shirt, personal preference. I think this is probably the most I've dressed down because I have no coat on, I have no tie on. Because I want this to be just a little bit more relaxed than normal. Not to mention that my neck's getting a little bit big and my ties are kind of choking me off. I will hang around for plenty of Q&A. I really appreciate your time, and I'm going to turn it back over to Mary.